Hi, Barry. It was nice of you to come all the way down here just for a snog. So it's day 47. We're in Far Harbour. I'm still at a loss. Is the island Far Harbour or is the town Far Harbour? I think from here out I'll call the town Far Harbour Pier, so I can just call the island Far Harbour. I don't know if the island has a name itself. So in the last episode we got going on the missions for the townsfolk as well as checked out Vault 118. Today, I think we have some more missions for the townsfolk. Well, I think we have a lot more missions for the townsfolk, but we'll continue with
Food,
that.
stim
First
packs,
off,
fully stocked.
let's go talk to Cassie and
It's
turn in the
time to
first
settle
mission.
accounts. You hear me, Island? My friend here's gonna even things up.
I wiped out the feral ghouls at the campground.
The hero of our saga returns triumphant.
Where would you be without me?
I bet the island didn't see that coming. It's only right you get paid for your troubles. Here's 200 caps for
Well,
you.
given that I don't really want caps at the moment, well, I'll still thank her.
I wasn't
Sort
looking
of.
to get paid. I'm just happy to help you out.
You're a good person. I can see that.
That's debatable.
I've been thinking about what's next, and then it came to me. We all love our grandparents, don't we? Kind, gentle, doting, love to spoil you. You'd never want something awful to happen to them. Nobody would. That's why it broke my heart when I lost Grandpa
I'm
George.
sorry. You must have been very fond of him.
Everybody was. But that didn't matter to the island. Oh no. He was cursed the moment he was born a Dalton. He had a farm little ways north of here. Lived a peaceful life, working the land and not causing anyone trouble. The island sent something after him. A huge monster, mean as spit and with claws to snap steel beams. A fog crawler. Grandpa bravely stood his ground. A shotgun in his hands, holding off that terror while the farmhands fled back here. If you can take out that shell-backed devil, it'll send a message loud and clear that says the Daltons never forget when they've been wronged.
That fog crawler's gonna pay. For Grandpa George.
That's the spirit.
So he lived a long, peaceful life on a farm, long enough to have grandkids, and then died a hero. I'm not entirely sure how that
Guns,
constitutes
ammo, and
cursed,
souvenirs.
but
Get them while they're in stock.
I mean, if it's a fog crawler, we can go and deal with that. I'm getting an arrow that says up. I'm looking for Avery here. Sneaking through the hole in her her wall. Hey, Avery, get up.
Those fog condensers are back online.
Yeah, take your time.
Good. Our water supply was starting to get low. Wasn't sure how much longer we could hold out. Did you find Howard?
I don't need to go overboard with this, the man is here. I mean, he kind of is. He was doing his, he didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
I should never have let him go out there alone. Well, I said it was paying work. 200 caps should be enough.
Is there anything else I can do to help?
Don't know if you've chatted up the Mariner, but she's always looking for help. I know Cassie Dalton was asking around, but, well, judge for yourself there.
Thanks. Glad I could help you out.
That makes two of us. Now, here's your pay. I've got to start making arrangements for Howard. So I'll say goodbye.
So for once, I think I'm going to try to
Protect your loved
build up
ones
some
with my
caps.
fine hand cannons.
Because I'm trying to build up
You hear?
some
The
2
big
millimeter
shot's guy.
ammunition. And you never know
You
when
when
you're going to
I'm
come
feeling
across
down,
some.
A little commerce always cheers me up.
Let's do it.
Let's trade.
Of course.
So a bunch of selling done and a couple of mutant hound chops scarfed down. First stop for the day is going to be Acadia. Because we have Nick in tow and, well, I'm sure he'll want to meet Dima. It's worth noting, it's not the first time I did this day. I had a big old recording issue the first time, and I could get into depth as to what happened, but I'm guessing you guys aren't too interested in that. Just to suffice to say that, yeah, I had some issues with that, and I had to reload from when I left Vault 118 yesterday. But instead of being attacked, if you recall, we got attacked by a bunch of fog creatures. We got attacked by trappers at Longfellows instead. And I got a mission to go and wipe out the trapper base or something. It's a map marker, and well, we'll have to do that at some point. Presumably that was going to happen anyway, but that means that the attack by the sea creatures, which happens in every playthrough at Longfellow's cabin, has not yet happened. I also picked up 2 legendaries, including a relentless combat shotgun and a hunting lever action rifle, neither of which I think make the cut. If you see any other continuity errors in there, well, that's what went down. Either way, here we are, Acadia. So, Nick, there is someone that you need to meet. You're not going to initiate a conversation on your... Well, okay, let's get this started.
Dima?
Wait. Your friend there. I'd like to speak to
Well,
him.
you can address him
I got a
specifically.
few words I want to say myself. Starting with, who the hell are you? There's only one synth with that kind of face and a mind of his own, and I only see him when I look in a mirror.
Nick? It can't be you.
Why
Don't
not?
give me that. What are you trying to pull? I've never seen you before in my life.
Please, if you're willing to give me a chance, I can explain.
All right, Dima. We'll humor you. Keep talking.
This all started over a century ago, when we were first created. We were prototypes, Nick. The first synths capable of independent thinking and judgment.
Keep talking.
One of the Institute's experiments had to do with how our brains could process personality. If we could handle individualized feelings and behaviors, I was allowed to develop mine based on experience. But with you, they wanted to try transferring an entire personality into you. It took several attempts before the personality imprint worked. I saw you wake up not knowing who or what you were so many times. I couldn't let them do it to you anymore. We were the only 2 prototypes they made. I literally saw myself in you. You were my brother, Nick. I helped you escape the Institute. We left together.
If I were your brother, I'd remember.
That's where you'd be wrong. This happened over a century ago. There's only so much memory that can fit into the prototype brains we have.
Ah, I've heard enough. I think you and I need to talk about this. Maybe not now, though.
Well, at his request, while I could ask some questions, sure, I will
We'll
wait.
talk later. This is a lot to take in.
Nick, I don't need you to believe me. I'm just glad to see you again. Whenever you're ready, I'll be here.
As much as I'm aching to hit that command button to start a conversation with Nick, he said he wanted some time. We will give him it. But there are 2 other people we need to talk to here. Well, actually, there's several people, but let's
Hey
start
there.
with these 2.
You track Kasumi here. I'm impressed. Perhaps not as quietly or efficiently as possible, but thankfully she was never in any real danger. I'm afraid your journey was unnecessary.
I wanted to see for myself that she's safe.
You have my word. Acadia is a safe haven for synths. Were it not, I would not have aided anyone in reaching it. Every synth I've tracked down, every synth convinced to come here, has been assured that he or she will come to no harm. My job is to make sure they all remain safe, no matter what. Understand?
Well, let's pry.
How do you manage to track down synths and bring them here?
I have a network of contacts throughout the area. Some from my time with the Institute, some after. I know the Institute's tactics, and use that to my advantage. You have Dima's blessing, so by all means, make yourself comfortable.
I'd like to help you all. Is there anything I can do?
Actually, as a matter of fact there is. If you're serious about contributing, well, we've got a situation I need someone to look into. You've had some experience traveling around the island, so you may be decently equipped to handle it.
All right, I'm listening.
We were expecting a new synth to arrive, and he should have been here by now. There's been no sign of him, and I'm concerned that he might have become lost on the way here.
I'll find out what I can.
You should start by talking to Brooks in Far Harbour. He's one of us, a synth. He's the one who meets the new arrivals and gets them started on the journey here. Of course, he's not likely to tell you anything without proof that you're working for me. If he doesn't cooperate, tell him that his designation is L792. That should convince him. That's as much help as I can give you for now. Please, hurry. If that synth is out there alone, he won't last long.
I think that's a pretty accurate assessment. If he isn't here yet, he's probably already dead. But we'll take a look.
So, you've talked to Dima. You know why we're here. I certainly hope that you'll consider helping us. Dima's vision is worth fighting for.
His vision, yes. Him? I don't know so much.
You're right. It is a good cause. Synths definitely deserve to be safe, just like everyone else.
It's so good to hear that. Very encouraging. Please, make sure Dima knows that as well. He's put so much of himself into this. All his time and energy devoted to helping others. He never stops to think of himself.
I don't know if you've talked to the guy before.
Well, if I wasn't here to make sure his equipment is all functional. And that's not even mentioning maintaining the fog condensers. So many things to keep track of.
Seems like he's lucky to have you helping.
Thank you. That's very kind.
Can you tell me about the fog condensers?
Oh, those? Dima and I designed them when it became clear the fog was only getting worse. They're effective, but have such a limited range. Dima insisted we provide them to the people of Far Harbour, and I'm so glad we did. Without the condensers, I'm not sure they'd have anywhere left.
Indeed, the first time we showed up in Far Harbour, we got to see firsthand what happens when the fog condensers fail.
Dima looks like he's had a lot of work done.
Well, that's certainly an understatement. Between the two of us, we've made so many modifications. He was just a prototype, never built for all this. It took a lot to overcome the limitations of the original design and expand his memory. It really is remarkable, isn't it? He's overcome so much. He's become so much more than he once was. And all he thinks of is others.
Again, I don't think you've actually met the guy.
If there's anything I can do to help out, just let me know.
Well, if you're determined to help, there is something you could do.
Maybe
It's
not
likely somewhat dangerous, though,
determined.
so I understand if you'd rather not. There's a boat along the coast of the island. It was transporting some hardware we needed. Storage drives. The boat never finished the trip, you see. So the drives are still out there. I could really use them here for extra parts, if nothing else. My understanding is that the boat wrecked southwest of here. So, does this sound like something you could handle?
You should see the Gauss rifle I just got.
What happened to the boat? Why didn't it make it?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Trappers, fog crawlers, there's no end to what's out there. And what might still be out there. The point is that we already lost someone once. And I don't want to see that happen again. So, are you up for it?
You know, I like this guy. I like that he's upfront about it, says we lost a guy doing this already, to be careful, and if you're not up to the job, then don't take it. This guy's awesome.
Sure thing, Faraday. I'll get the drives for you.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Now, we had some things to chat with Dima about from talking to Kasumi last time.
Hey,
So
Dima.
let's get that started.
What is it?
Kasumi says she's seen parts of your memories. Death projections. For Far Harbour and the center of the island.
That's unfortunate. She should be focusing on herself, her new life. She shouldn't have to bear the burden of the outside world. Please, this is a matter best left to me and my advisors. We aren't planning to destroy the island. Those projections were merely to help us realize the cost of inaction.
Just a handy reference, huh? Expect us to just take your word on it?
I like Nick's not buying any of this. And neither am I.
I'm getting sick of this whole noble leader bullshit from you, Dima. Now stop hiding and tell me the truth.
All right, you've made your point. There's a conflict that's been brewing on this island shortly after we built Acadia.
Surprised Nick didn't
Between
like that.
Far Harbour and the Children of Atom.
Simply put, they want to kill each other, and each side wants us to help them.
We've tried to stay neutral, but Far Harbour was going to be wiped out by the fog, so that's when we built the condensers for them.
And I was friends with the previous leader of the Children of Atom, Confessor Martin. I even gave them their headquarters, the submarine base they named the Nucleus.
Which was a mistake, because Martin is gone and the new confessor, Tectus, is completely insane.
He's been threatening us, to force us to choose a side. I left behind something very important in that submarine base I gave them.
Dima's earliest memories are stored in the military computer banks in that base. The pre-war security systems and Confessor Martin's goodwill were supposed to keep them safe.
But now Tectus is in charge, and he's after Dima's memories. We don't even know what's in them.
But we do know that I spent nearly a century on this island alone. Whatever's in there is too dangerous to allow Tectus to get his hands on them.
I see. So what can I do to help?
If you're willing to retrieve what I've lost, and bring my memories back to me, then we'd all be one step closer to solving this conflict without bloodshed.
Well, maybe.
You'll have to get through the Children of Atom's base. You're new on the island, so you might be able to pose as a recruit.
Then, once you get to the memory banks, you'll have to use a special program Dima and I have been working on to break through the security systems.
It's not going to be like a normal hack. You'll be breaking through a version of my own mental network. It'll consider you to be an intruder. I've loaded the program with some instructions I've recorded that will help guide you through it. I'm afraid it's difficult to explain without seeing it for yourself.
I'll get your memories, Dima.
If we're lucky, the pre-war defenses have kept the Children of Atom at bay. But that means you'll have to get past them yourself. One more thing before you leave. Whatever you do, don't assault the Children of Atom directly. Our ultimate goal must be to bring peace. If you attack them, they'll consider themselves at war with the outside world.
If we find anything suspicious in those memories of yours, we'll be back. Count on it.
I like that Nick is imminently suspicious of this guy.
You want to buy something or what?
Sure. Let's take a look.
Don't touch everything, okay?
So it's interesting to note that in addition to having a bunch of 2mm ammunition, he also had this thing, which is a 2-shot lever action rifle. So if I hadn't gotten lucky and picked up one of those in Nuka World, I literally could have bought one off this guy for only 1,300 caps. But I've already tossed that, so I don't need to buy it here. But yeah, how about that? You doing a playthrough? Remember, this guy's got this thing here, as well as a crippling flamethrower. Incredibly high fire rate, so that's interesting. I'm not going to take it, but it's interesting. That didn't quite clear me out of caps, though, so...
Acadia may not look like much from the outside, but it's all some of us have got.
I know there's the one other guy here that was selling... Ah, you. Cock.
Hi.
Need something?
Yeah, I need you to take the rest of my caps.
Let's see what you have.
Let's do some business.
No accounting for taste.
Valentine's commenting on the fact that I picked up some fertilizer off the guy. But he had another 60 some odd rounds at 2mm, so we are sitting pretty as far as ammo for the Gauss rifle goes. Kasumi, you're usually down here. Hopefully you weren't actually upstairs and I jumped down for nothing. Looks like you were upstairs and I jumped down for nothing. Oh, no, there you are.
Turns out Dima's earliest memories are in the hands of the Children of Atom. He's afraid of what they're going to find.
So, is that what those death projections were about? It wasn't Dima planning to destroy the island. He's worried the Children of Atom will.
I think
Or
everyone on this
is he
island's
still
planning on
hiding
destroying the island.
What could be in those memories that he would leave them behind? Is there really something in them that's dangerous? Do you have a way in? Into his memories? Assuming you can get past the Children of Atom, of course.
I got this program that Faraday and Dima wrote. It's supposed to help me access the memory banks.
Really? How would that work? When I was taking a peek in the computers he has here, Dima was hooked up to his chair. I was just tapping into it. I wonder if you'll need to, you know, connect to the old banks the way he does. Some kind of connection between your head and the computer.
No, I
Oh, but
assure
that's
you,
it.
it's
And
much,
then
much
Faraday's
worse than
program
that.
would be translating Dima's thoughts and data, helping you through any security guarding it. I'm sorry, I'm making assumptions. It's just, well, it's a little exciting, isn't it? You'll let me know what you find? I'll keep an eye on things here.
If all I find in those memories is just 100 years worth of Dima staring at a wall, I'm gonna be really annoyed.
Well, if you did, that's almost good, right? That means they're harmless. Anyway, good luck.
And you went and gave me more caps. Here I am going out of my way trying to clear out my caps. Although I did go out of my way to get a whole bunch of caps, but let's go back to COG and see if I can offload this newfound unnecessary wealth. I didn't bother checking the digits there. She gave me 500 caps to come find her on behalf of her parents. I suppose part of that was to spy on Dima, although that really was as difficult as going and talking to Dima. I wonder. So it's very interesting to compare Dima and Nick. If you recall the conversation we had with Nick when we were in 118, he was very clearly lonely, and that could have been the personality imprint that had a large deciding factor in that. But he went out of his way to attempt to integrate into society. It's very clear that he sees himself as a person first and a synth second, whereas Dima very, very much identifies as a synth, and that's fine. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. It makes integration more difficult, but I don't think Dima has any interest in integration, and again, totally fine. Where the problem lies, though, is when he compares it to, say, the railroad. See, he's critical of the railroad because they get impressionable synths and convince them to do the memory wipe. Now, that may not tell the story perfectly, but that's how Dima sees it. Of course, what Dima's doing, on the other hand, is taking in freshly discovered synths, very, very impressionable synths, and telling them they're defined by what they are instead of who they are. Now, there's some obvious metaphors to go with that. We're going to avoid those like a minefield. But at the end of the day, both sides need to be doing more to allow the synths to make up their own mind. You know what? This is a perfect opportunity to try this out for the first time. Charge up. And... oh, come on. I hit him clearly in the butt. You know, I've got enough ammo. Oh, that's cool. The sight actually goes down when it's being loaded. So I have enough ammo for this. I might as well put it on slot 4, and I'll decide what to do with that sniper rifle. I don't have any weight issues at the moment, so it's not a huge huge urgency. So I'm not sure why there are Brotherhood here. There were last time. Well, at least want the meat from that thing. Oh right. Yeah, look at how fast I heal. Oh, that's because I have the two separate perks operating at the same time. So why are these guys here? Well, who knows? Anyway. Wonder if this thing will stay fresh like the Furious Power Fist. Come on, eggs. Okay, well. Man, I've gotten much, much better with the guns in this game. You remember those first few episodes where I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn? Of course, I could have gotten lucky there just the same. So, Next on the list. Next on the list is the Mariner's Quest. She asked us to go pick her up some tools, and it looks like we're almost there. I know it's possible to get enemies here, but I don't think it's not a common thing. Although I did hear gunfire off to the right. Okay, more than gunfire. You know, I think it might be the case that even the combat rifle is going to wind up going. I might just wind up with. Ooh, you guys are really taking it like a champ.
Even break a sweat.
I might just wind up carrying the Guardian and the Gauss rifle after this. What I am looking for is bone. At some point, there's a possibility that I'm going to wind up getting the fortifying. Ooh. Trappers. Well, we shoot trappers. Well, they said the. Oh, I think one of the bullets ricocheted and the other one made it through. That's kind of cool. What do we have here? Lost my train of thought there for a second. Yeah, I think there's a very real possibility that it may just wind up being the Guardian and the Gauss rifle and the fists. The other ones seem kind of extraneous, especially since even with the short barrel, the Guardian seems to be doing just fine at range. Miss me. Oh, legendary.
Won't be chewing on us.
I guess that there is one very practical purpose of the combat rifle, and that's when I'm using drugs. Which, let's go ahead and do for the sake of it. The Guardian's just not quite as good for that, mostly because I'm using the smaller clip, and the reason that I don't put the larger clip on the Guard... Oh, come on, you. The reason I don't...
What's that?
There we go. The reason I don't use the larger clip on... Whoa, you're taking... The reason I don't use the larger clip on the Guardian is because the amount of shots you get on VATS is a function of the weight of the gun. I'm not really sure why why I bothered to get in this firefight, but we're here. Let's shoot a bunch of super mutants. Have I lost them? Nope. Okay, this thing's pretty fun. Also pretty insane and probably game-breaking, but then again, so is the Overseer's Guardian. So you guys were... Ooh, Myler cake. Jet. I mean, we'll take Jet. You guys were guarding a Mirelurk cake. That's something special. Coming in... I don't think I've ever entered from the back door before, but that's sort of the vector that led us here, so... Love that they went out of their way to put an echo in. That's a nice touch. Okay, well, oh, there we go.
Hide and seek.
Oh, that's got to be a thumbnail right there.
Thought we were getting along.
Well, we'll take caps. All right, now, can I actually go in the back door? I'm guessing that it'll be barred or something, or maybe this isn't the back door that I thought it was. No, it doesn't seem like this is the way in. Oh, front door it is. Well, we're not getting in advanced. As long as there are ghouls everywhere, I should keep the lights out. Unless I need it. Okay, that's one. Oh, would have been fun if I could jump up there and punch. Oh, that was the ghoul that was upstairs and it fell off. This is a terrible idea, but sometimes terrible ideas are fun. That's odd. So if I charge up, then look down the scope, it seems to... Well, that's probably a throwback from Skyrim days. An old quirk of the engine. That was how you what's it called with a bow and arrow when you take the arrow, when you put an arrow on it to knock an arrow? Well, in Skyrim, the way you knocked an arrow was you would stop aiming. Oh. Maybe I'll give that to Nick. You would stop aiming before you shoot, and that would, you know, unknock your arrow without shooting. Hello, power tools. And I bet you that's exactly what's going on there. So, oh, I actually, I didn't die, but I almost died my first time through here. Let's see if I fare any better this time. Although...
Hold up! I've been casing those ghouls for weeks, waiting for an opening. And you dive in, and choppy chop, bang bang, and the whole lot of them dead. You even know what you got right there? A premium set of Pellman's power tools.
I remember commercials for Pellman's tools. Expensive stuff, but top of the line.
What the hell's a commercial? Wait, it don't matter. Oh, Mariner sent you, didn't she? Goddamn Mitch and his big mouth.
Who's Mitch?
No matter what she's offering, it's nothing. Serious builders would give an arm for them tools. I'll pay you 2,000 caps right here, right now. Deal?
Well, the problem is your carrot. I don't need caps. No.
I'll pass on the offer.
I ain't hanging around forever. Walk away from this, and you'll regret it.
Plus, I get Valentine likes that, so win-win. So it would appear that this is the pile of ghouls that jumps on top of you when you come out that door otherwise, so clearing them all out beforehand, definitely a good plan. So the last stop on our tour before heading back to the Far Harbour Pier will be the Trapper's Lodge, which, as you recall, was part of the stuff that happened on the second recording after leaving 118. It was also a part that I didn't manage to pick up because I got the video settings wrong for the recording of the episode, and then when testing them, I decided to, clear out the rest of the day so I could pick up where the videos left off, and I still hadn't got them right. So I have audio for it, but no video, and yeah, that's not worth posting. The short of it was I was trying to separate my audio. Whoa, hello. Separate my microphone and my game audio so I could... How did I get a tapeworm? Oh well, let's take care of it. Oh, how did I miss a couple trappers behind me? Hubflower? Hubflower. So yeah, I was trying to separate out my microphone and game audio so it'd be easier to work with in the edit. And yeah, I've got it sorted now, I hope. They spit flaming projectiles. And I'm on fire. I didn't even realize that. Oh, that looks unpleasant.
Bothering anybody now.
Well, I'm sure we can turn angler meat into something. I have no idea specifically where I'm going. I have a map marker and I am swimming towards it. I mean, I just cleared out another disease, and if you recall, there's a delay. Once you've gotten a disease, you can't get another disease for X amount of time. That doesn't mean that they can't stack. See, there we are. That's the well, what are those fish called that have the they're probably called anglers. That's probably where the name comes from. So I'm hearing fire off to the right. My map marker is in front of me, but I'm hearing fire off to the right, and I'm wondering if that might be the settler that told me to meet him here.
What's that saying? Over my dead body?
Ooh, raiders.
Time's up, bitch.
Ooh, iguana on a stick. Give me. That's some good food right there. Okay, so who knows what these guys were fighting? Oh, they were fighting a scavenger. Iguana on a stick. So they were basically shooting up a scavenger's hut. They swam all the way over here to shoot up a scavenger. Well, the raiders. I mean, I guess that's what they do. I won't set those off, but Nick probably will. Oh, that sounds like a him problem. You know what? I think I should go ahead and quickly sort out that food before. And you know what I should do? Let's take that level up. So we took the first rank of Penetrator last episode. Let's go ahead and finish that up because it's, well, it's just the 2 points. Might as well get it done. I really should get some, whoa! I should really get some points in explosives. Been a couple times so far this episode where I kind of wish that I can't believe you survived that. Didn't survive that one. Oh. Well, it doesn't look like they're all killed. There's a legendary right down there. Gimme something good. Thanks. Okay. Well, it said that it was done, but I still have a map marker here, so... Okay, so this was the settler that sent me here to clear the place out. So how are we doing?
I guess they won't be bothering us again anytime soon.
You guys have anything special up here? Cap stash with 22 caps. And an advanced lock safe, which probably had something interesting in it. Alright, let's head back to the Far Harbour Pier. Before we head back, though, it hits me that we haven't heard from Nick yet. Maybe we missed his cue?
I'm all ears. What? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there it is.
Got my head full of what Dima was talking about. It's a bit of a shock. Who do you think he is, really? Family?
I know family has like a dictionary meaning, but it's really just a word. You can call someone that you know, you're good friends with, a brother, or really whether or not he's family is kind of up to Nick. But let's go this direction first.
Before I answer, are you okay?
Yeah, I'll keep. Don't worry. I just need to figure this all out.
Well, happy to be a sounding board for you.
Honestly, I don't know what to think, Nick.
Yeah. Guess that makes two of us. I spent a long time wondering if the Institute had made any other prototypes. If I was just a failure, or they gave up, or just plain got bored. I always thought I was just more of their discarded trash. Never thought of the possibility that someone wanted me out. Helped me escape. There's got to be some kind of proof out there. What really happened between me and Dima? I'd appreciate it if we could keep an eye out.
You got it, Nick.
Of course, Nick. We'll find something.
Thanks. I know we don't have much to go on. Just keep me in mind if you find something that might give us some answers.
I'm about to say that we had a glowing angler and an albino angler. Where's our legendary angler? What do you have for me? Sigh. Halfway back, came across this little group. Oops. Oh. I hit something there. Don't know how that was a sneak attack. I mean, one of their buddies goes down, a car blows up, you'd think they'd be like, oh, something's going on here. Pretty sure I saw 3, though. Oh, ribcage. Yeah. As much as I would like to find that body, I'm not going searching for it. Not in this mess. Don't know why these things would be hostile. But I'll oblige them. It builds up crit. I'm not sure what triggered and admires, but...
I think we ought to talk.
Yeah, you got it.
Is something the matter? You sound upset.
We've just been traveling for a while now. I figured, especially after all that stuff with Dima, that you deserve to know more about me. So, there anything you want to know?
Well, let's ask him everything.
What do you remember about the Institute?
It's all pretty hazy from back then, but now and then I get glimpses. Life inside the Institute, they keep you isolated. A single test chamber was my whole world for years, and someone was always watching. Then one day you wake up on the other side, and that's it. They've cut you loose. Welcome to the brave new world, with such people in it.
What's with the outfit?
After I started the agency, it just seemed like the sort of thing a detective ought to wear. I got some old memories, pre-war. Faded to all heck with guys dressed like this, doing what I do. Putting on the hat and trench coat, I figured it'd let folks know I was serious about the whole thing. Clothes make the man and all that. Guess I felt they made me the man I wanted to be.
So, who are you, Nick?
That's a question I've been trying to figure out myself for a long damn time. I know I'm a synth, authentic Institute handiwork, but I'm still mechanical, not bioengineered like the fancy synths giving everyone the willies these days. I get tune-ups now instead of checkups. You remember when Dima was talking about the Institute's personality experiments? My memories, my personality. They're all lifted from some cop who volunteered for an experiment back before the war. They scanned his brain and copied it onto the hardware that runs between my ears. Don't know why they chose to make a robot based on some pre-war cop instead of a math genius or a bioengineer.
Because it's an awesome idea.
Maybe that's why the Institute tossed me in the garbage instead of turning me into one of their people snatchers.
Wait, what? You're a robot? What else have you been keeping from me?
Huh. Well, I'm not sure if anyone told you, but there's been a war. Nothing big. I think we'll bounce back just fine.
The original Nick was from my time?
Sure was. Which meant when I finally ended up out here, it was quite the rude awakening. I remember waking up one day in a garbage heap, a body in tatters and a head full of memories belonging to a man who'd been dead for 200 years. Suffice to say, it was a confusing couple of weeks. Folks didn't really know much about synths back then, so when I finally ran into people, they mostly treated me with caution rather than hostility. But the kids, they weren't afraid. I think his name was Jim. The first person to actually speak to me after I got the boot from the Institute. My first human contact in this world. Grilled me for an hour. Once they'd seen I wasn't going to hurt anyone, the other folks in the neighborhood came out to ogle the mechanical man. It eventually turned into a pretty swell soiree. The local mechanic even gave me a once-over, free of charge. Those people, they treated me like a human being. I've been trying to return the favor ever since. It's a surprisingly rare trait out here sometimes. It's something I've noticed you got a fondness for. Part of the reason I've stuck around this long.
Where's that town? We should go visit.
I tried to go back and say thanks once I'd gotten myself established. But the place was wiped off the map. Raiders. Don't know what happened to the people.
You know, I really wish there was a quest to find those people. Even if it turned out to be a sad ending, that would be a fantastic quest.
If you're good to people, they'll be good back. That's something I've always believed.
Couldn't agree more. Well, I expect you're about as bored as can be listening to me rattle my skeletons. We should probably head out. Your Geiger counter doing cartwheels too?
What, does that mean that Nick has like a built-in Geiger counter? Well, I guess he might have a built-in Geiger counter. I don't see why not. You know, I gotta say that Burberry, that looks fantastic on him. And Burberry's about one of the few brands out there I think would last 200 years. I mean, if you deliberately drove over the thing with a tank, you might see some tatters, but those things just don't die. There we have a Vim power armor. Most of my runs are no power armor runs. I'm not a fan of the power armor as a game mechanic. It's a personal preference, but there's 3 cola-themed power armors in the game, and I usually go to my way to collect them, you know, just send them back to a base. I'll probably grab one of my followers at some point and, stuff them in the power armor and say, go home, put them on a plinth or something. So we're getting back into Far Harbor, and someone's shooting something.
You were right, Alan.
Now will you listen to sense? The children of Adam need to be wiped clean off this island.
Did you
You've
just
had
execute
your blood
someone?
Today. I can't stomach any more of it. All of you, show's over. Go home.
Can't help but feel that I missed something important here. But I didn't see what happened. And Avery is, well, she's clearly not happy about this, but she's not like flipping out mad. So, I'll say their business. Hey you, I brought you some tools.
Mariner.
You been to the tannery? You find my tools yet?
Mm-hmm.
Here are your tools.
A fair bit of luck running into you. Here's your reward. Well earned. And now to work on the hull.
Hey, a mariner.
All manner of good I can do with those tools.
If the Mariner was a romance option, you seem like you want to chat.
Teddy.
You are a curious specimen. Despite our friendly town doing its best to chase you out, you keep helping us ingrates all the same. I got to ask, why do you keep at it?
You're good people in some dire straits. Figured you could use a hand.
Well, most of you are good people.
You running for office? Well, if that's the truth, we don't deserve you. Most folk here are set in their ways, yes? It makes no difference how hard you try to get in good with them. Heck, it took my family 3 generations before the Daltons would sell us a heel of bread. But there's a way. A downright insane way, mind you. That you can turn even the most stubborn fool around.
That sounds right up my alley.
Why are some harbormen so hostile to outsiders?
Most of the folk on this rock believe they've been given the God-given right to walk here. Way I figure it, if you got the moxie to survive, you earned your place.
Well, this isn't about changing their opinion of me, although, everyone likes it when people like them, but let's go with a somewhat more reasonable.
I'll hear you out.
In olden times, leaders were chosen by something called the Captain's Dance. Legends say the toughest, meanest, and outright craziest hopefuls would chum the waters and lure out the worst the island could throw at them. Once the would-be captain killed the Mirelurk Queen, or Fog Crawler, or what have you, they'd invite the whole island to feast off the bounty. You do this, well, you won't be made captain, but you'll earn respect. Everyone's respect.
So, if we throw this dance, it'll really change their minds.
The dance hasn't been done in living memory. Some people think the tradition is dead, but its history is so deep in this island. You do it, and it'll turn heads for certain.
Why are you helping me?
My job is to heal people, and not just from the physical type of injuries. The island's in trouble like it's never been, and you might, just might, be the medicine we desperately need.
Well, I am the protagonist.
I'm ready to become a legend, then.
You what? You crack me up. There's an old Mirelurk feasting grounds by Emmett's Causeway, a treacherous stretch along the coast. Go there and throw any kind of meat you got into the water. All that blood and viscera will be sure to attract attention. And then wait. I'll make sure there's a witness or two. Prove to the rest of these clods you belong.
Scarf down some food before we talk to Cassie, because she's invariably going to want to talk for an hour and a half. Well, Cassie, what's our next story?
Grandpa George can rest in peace. The fog crawler is dead.
Wonderful. That's another chapter successfully concluded. You truly are the heroic Avenger I hoped you were.
Do you know anything
With
about
that
the
fog crawler
Brotherhood
gone,
there?
We can send some folks up there to get the place ready for you. That's right. The farm is yours.
Yippee.
Your own little piece of the island. It'll take work to get it up and running again, but you'll have help. And here's another 200 caps in gratitude for your service to the great Dalton lineage.
Who else needs to be avenged?
I was just about to explain. No, I don't have to tell you that the bonds of blood and family are strong. As strong as any a person can know. But if you ask me, the strongest among them is the bond that exists between two married people. That's why the last part of this
I'd
tale
say that it's the bond
is
between,
the
you know,
hardest
parent
one
and
for
child,
me to
but,
tell.
you know, that's probably not for me to say.
I take it this is the next chapter of the story.
It's the final chapter, in fact. My late husband, Daniel, was the best fisherman this island ever saw. He and his crew had a favorite fishing spot out by Brooks Head Lighthouse. One day, a day I'll never forget, I see Danny's boat pulling up with his crewmen all shouting and carrying on. Turns out some trappers moved into the lighthouse. No doubt because the island told them to.
No doubt.
They're all crazier than a bag of mole rats.
They're
Their
crazier
leader
than a
was
bag of
having
mole
a little
rats.
target practice. Shot Danny right between the eyes. Killed him, just like that. You go and get that son of a bitch. You make him pay for doing the island's bidding.
How do I get to the Brookshead Lighthouse?
It's southwest of town, not far from the quarry.
I'll make that trapper pay.
All right, then. Remember, trappers may be half crazy from the fog, but they still know how to use a gun.
So next up, I believe we need to have a chat with Brooks.
I need to talk to you about a missing synth.
Yeah? Well, it's not something I talk about with outsiders. So you can either buy something or move along.
Considering that we're standing directly next to your, presumably your neighbor here.
I'm working with Chase. She told me that your designation is L792.
Okay, I believe you.
Now you want to
Keep
talk.
it down, all right? It's real private information. I know the synth you're talking about. He's a younger guy. Maybe early 20s with white hair. Goes by the name Derek. Thing is, he showed up way earlier than he was supposed to. Thought a courser was on his tail, so he rushed the timetable. To be honest, the guy was a wreck. He was scared shitless, looking over his shoulder every 5 minutes and attracting unwanted attention. Tried to calm him down, but he panicked and ran off into the fog. That was the last I saw of him.
Can you tell me anything else? I'm gonna need more information than that if I'm gonna find the synth.
I wish I had more to give you. He disappeared into the fog, and I haven't seen him since.
That synth could be wandering around out there right now, lost in the fog. I'm gonna need more than that.
I've told you everything I know, all right? You think I wanted this to happen? Well, I didn't. Look, if you're really going after that synth, I'm pretty sure he took the road south out of town.
See? That's
You could head that
information. You could have led
Be
with
careful
that.
out there. And thanks. There aren't many who'd go out in the fog to help a synth, especially one they don't even know. I feel like shit about what happened. I really do. I hope you can make it right.
Let's see about
Brooks.
shopping though while we're here.
Looking for a bargain?
Let's deal.
Of course.
With my caps cleared out, I think it's time to head back to base. Had a pretty busy day. We went to Acadia and talked to everyone. Got Nick introduced to Dima. Went and cleared out a whole bunch of super mutants. We cleared out a fog crawler. We cleared out the tannery or cannery or whatever that was to get a bunch of tools. And then we killed a bunch of trappers. With all that done, it's time to hit the hay. I will see you tomorrow.